Hey everyone, and welcome back to Magic Rising. Today we're going to talk about the subject of health and magic. I love this following quote. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I mean, think about it. Forget the athame, forget the wand, forget the stones, forget the cauldron, forget the altar, forget the circle. One of our most significant tools that we have is our human body. And I think that there is a huge part of our physical lives that directly impacts the success or failure of our magical ones. At a very basic level, the healthier that our bodies are, the more healthy our minds can be. And when we use things like magic, we do use our mental awareness of ourselves and our surroundings in order to impact change. Now let's think about that. So think back to a time where you ate like just nonsense food. For me, it was this past weekend. I had a ton of ice cream and pasta and pizza and beer and all of these other things that I don't normally eat throughout the week. And I woke up the next morning feeling like garbage. I was exhausted. My mental faculties were not there. I couldn't really do anything besides lounge around the house because my body was in a state of unhealthiness. I mean, we're only human and we all do this, and it's something that, you know, those cravings that we have and those instantaneous pleasures, that's just part of life in my opinion, because nobody's perfect. But it does go to show the kind of foundation that we can build in order to better serve our minds and our magic. This is even more so with alcohol. I know for me, I do like to go out a lot. My friends like to go out, and I know for certain that mornings I wake up, even if it's the same amount of sleep, mornings that I wake up after a night of heavy drinking, I definitely don't feel the same. And I've been to work after nights of drinking, maybe with 5 hours of sleep that night. And compared to a night of 5 hours of sleep where I haven't been drinking the night before, my mental faculties are way different. I am more ready for the day. I am in a state where I can process things a lot faster, and in my fast-paced job, that's something that I need to be able to do. And so for me, I know my true will is not to get fired from my job because I can't perform properly. And what that means is I need to take into account the things that I'm putting inside my body and the things that I'm doing and the habits that I'm forming in order to avoid going further and further away from my true intention with succeeding in life as I see it. So I think it's important to realize when certain indulgences start to become a habit. And that's the state that I'm currently working through, is trying to determine, you know, are these habits that I'm forming that are impacting my life and drawing me further from my true will and from my intentions? Or are these just, you know, minor indulgences that aren't really impacting my life in any super negative way? When I first started my witchy journey, I was overweight. I was. And so thinking back on that, I kind of reflect on how I was really feeling and how I was learning. And I was in school at the time too. And so those states where I would wake up the next day after eating unhealthy and drinking in school, I wouldn't perform as well. And even with my magical studies, I'm sure that suffered too. I know it was a long time ago, so it's really hard to remember for me. But I will say that when I started to become healthier physically, I went back to school after taking a break. I developed a lot of interest in really pursuing my witchy studies a lot more. And, you know, honestly, I felt a lot better. Not just better about myself because of the way I looked, but physically I felt more capable to do the things that I wanted to do. So if we go back to Aleister Crowley's quote, where magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will, then it does include both the mundane world and the physical things that are, you know, within us, including our biological functions, and it also includes magical acts and the way that our mental faculties perform in trying to achieve those changes within ourselves. Just think about it. Every single internal process that our bodies undergo is directly impacted by our level of healthiness. Those processes directly result in benefits or consequences to our overall health, including our mental health. And when we talk about mental health, we're talking about that brain chemistry that keeps us functioning like we want to, like we should. And so if our brain chemistry is off and our brain is firing all sorts of wonky, then how can we truly know and direct our energy to really achieve our magical intention. Again, our bodies are our primary tools in this world, and a perfectly honed and well-adjusted body will lead to a more well-adjusted and finely tuned mind, which is what we use to internally impact change within ourselves, which then we can take and impact the world around us. So is body positivity important in Magick? Yes. Is bodily health important in Magick? Definitely it is. But any changes to your bodily health, any intentions that you have there to get healthier, it should be focused on health. It shouldn't be focused on results or the end goal. It should be focused on just being healthier day to day. And everyone's journey to physical and mental and magical health is different. So don't be motivated by what works for somebody else, and don't be motivated by just the results. Be motivated by what it takes to become healthy. Be motivated by what gets you excited about being healthy, because we are all beautiful creatures in this world, and we're all magical creatures in this world. And the more that we understand how health can impact our magical workings, the more effective our magic is going to be, and the better off we are in the long term. And so my goal is definitely to be healthier, and it's going to be hard because I really love chocolate. I really love beer and wine. I really love going out and having a great time. I love the taste of grains and carbs. But if that's not going to help me be more successful in my life on a magical level, then there's no way that I'm going to get to that point in an overall sense of the universal level. Let's get healthy. Thanks for watching.